Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cheryl and I am here to tell you about my favorite musk fragrances that I have in my relatively small fragrance collection. I've always been a musk lover. I didn't know how to articulate that until recently when I started my fragrance journey. I have since confirmed that it is absolutely one of my favorite notes. And it's one that I have loved ever since I was very young. If you hear any noises, I have two cats that frequently make an appearance and even more frequently cause chaos. So fingers crossed, we'll stay upright and things won't get too noisy. So in today's video, like I said, I'm going to bring you my favorite musks from my personal collection. I don't have a lot, but I'm going to show you the ones that I do have. So we're going to start out with, well, these are really not in any particular order, but they are kind of in an order. I'll start with my least favorite and then working up to my most favorite. So stick around to the end of the video if you want to see that. And if fragrance content and home content and plus size fashion content are things that you're interested in, please consider joining me and hitting the subscribe button. We will start out with a fragrance that started my affordable Middle Eastern fragrance journey. It was the first Middle Eastern fragrance that I bought. And it was a fragrance that went, oh, so if I'm looking down this way, my computer is over here. So anyway, it was a fragrance that went viral in 2023, I believe. And I've even seen it advertised as like the world's best-selling perfume of 2023. You'll probably know what it is. Al Rehab's Choco Musk. So hopefully that will focus. This is a pretty straightforward, linear fragrance. Notes of vanilla, chocolate, musk, obviously, spices. They don't really clarify which ones. Amber, cinnamon, sandalwood, oriental woody notes. I'm guessing that might be oud. I can't really distinguish that. Like it doesn't smell barnyardy or anything. Oh, and rose. Rose is the last note to sort of sweeten it up a bit. Oh, not that the chocolate doesn't make it sweet, but I don't love it. It still has, like I've had this since 2023 and it still seems to have a bit of a sharp opening on me, but it does mellow out on my skin after time. And it's really actually quite nice in the cold weather, especially the fall and the winter. You don't want to overspray this one because it can be very strong and it can last a very long time. And like I said, it's a great fall and winter scent, and you smell a bit like a hot chocolate, which isn't all that bad. I'm thinking I might try layering it with one of my pistachio scents to see if I can create like a Dubai chocolate kind of aura. Like I said, I don't absolutely love it. I don't reach for it all that much. Like, as you can see, I don't really have much of a dent, but I do use it. One of the most exciting selling points for it is that it is incredibly affordable. Okay, so the second favorite musk in my collection is a pretty new one to me. I blind bought this, which probably isn't the smartest thing to do, but I heard Maria Colette talk about it and it sounded yummy, just yummy. And so I found a seller and actually I wound up getting a very good deal because I got not only the fragrance, but I got a gift set. This one is Blueberry Musk by Arabiette Prestige. I love the bottle. There's just something about a combination of navy blue and gold that is just so elegant. So this looks very nice on a perfume tray. And this fragrance is so yummy. It makes you smell like a bumbleberry pie. It is so sweet. So again, with this one, beware of overspraying, otherwise you'll probably be too sweet. And it's very much a unisex fragrance. Guys might want to layer it with something a little more woody to kind of ground it a bit. And it is, I'm not going to say it's a complicated fragrance, but it is very much a gourmand. And it is, like I said, sweet and jammy and delicious. The notes are blueberry, obviously, blackberry in the top. The middle notes are freesia, lavender, and rose. And the base notes are raspberry, vanilla, oak moss, and patchouli. So it's a good thing it has the oak moss and the patchouli in there to sort of cut through and freshen it up and ground it a little bit. Otherwise, you really will smell like I'll tell you a story. You will smell like a blueberry Yankee candle. Years ago, when Yankee candles were new and all the rage, I was with my aunt in Burnaby, and we had gone to the mall, to Brentwood Mall, if anyone is from Burnaby and knows where that is. And she had purchased a votive size Yankee candle at a different shopping center we'd been to. And she had it in a bag and left it in the cup holder in her car. Completely forgot about it. It was a very hot summer day, and we parked on the rooftop parking lot at Brentwood and, went to the mall for a few hours, did our thing, came back to a bag full of melted blue sludge and a car that was redolent of blueberries. And I'm telling you, it took months for that smell to dissipate. Her car smelled like blueberries for ages, but that's you could smell worse. So that was the scent memory that this fragrance brings up for me, was my aunt and her blueberry Yankee candle melted in her car. Other than that, it's an absolutely delicious fragrance, especially for the fall and the winter, or even this time of year, like very early spring, where there's sort of a, your juices start running, the juices in the trees are starting to run, and things are starting to come to life. Because this is such a delicious, juicy fragrance, I think it actually goes really well with this time of year. And especially because it is still cold enough where I am that you won't get too sweet and too sticky. Okay, so my next favorite, number 3 on my favorite musk fragrance list, is a new one. It's a new one to me, and it's relatively new to the market. It came out, I think, at the end of 2025 and was quite popular. It had quite a moment. And that is Paris Corner's Eshal Musk. When I heard all the talk online and heard the fragrance notes, I thought, I absolutely must have this. It sounds very much like a little bit of me. Oh yeah. This is such a light musk, especially in contrast to the 2 that I just reviewed, or the 2 that I just spoke about. It is more of a floral musk, and it's brighter, and the pink and the silver very much suit the tone of this this fragrance. This is a beautiful bottle and it has got some serious heft to it. And I like the faceted pink top. Another thing I love about the Eshal line is they come with a little scarf, which I think is such a nice touch. So this one, according to the brand, is a gentle combination of lily of the valley, lotus, and caramel. So, and those are the top notes. And then it dries down into heart notes of jasmine, freesia, and violet, a classic floral and powdery softness. And the base notes are musk, vanilla, and ambroxan for a smooth, warm, and slightly resinous dry down. So if you're sensitive to ambroxan, then you may want to be a little bit careful with this one or give it a miss. And if you're wearing it, you might want to be careful about overspraying it because ambroxan can give some people a headache. So you don't want to trigger a migraine in your friends. But other than that, this is such a beautiful, soft, light, bright, powdery musk fragrance. When spring is in full bloom, this is absolutely what I will be wearing. This is, to me, this is spring in a bottle. Absolutely gorgeous. I get pretty good longevity with this, about 5 or 6 hours, and then it creates a nice scent bubble and a nice skin scent. It's one of those kind of musks that is very comforting, not quite cozy because of the floral notes, the freesia and the jasmine and the lily of the valley, especially sort of, they're the ones that brighten it up, especially the freesia. I can really smell the freesia, which is beautiful. And the violet just gives it that powdery softness. This is very much a soft girl fragrance. I'll also say that this fragrance is incredibly feminine. It's not juvenile and it's not girly and it's not like grown woman boss lady either, but it is very feminine. It's very pink. Hence my pink sweater for the day. So my next fragrance is not actually a perfume. It is a fine fragrance mist from our friends at Bath and Body Works. They came out with a line of musk fragrances this year, and I was torn between the fruity musk and this one, which is the warm musk. This fragrance is the definition of cozy musk. I also bought this scent in the body wash and the lotion. And if you shower before bed, this is so relaxing and it's so comforting. And you just feel like snuggling up in a fluffy blanket. It is wonderful. It's listed as an Oriental vanilla on Fragrantica, and it's quite popular with a 4.25 rating. It's very, very vanilla, but it has that creamy musk scent. So it's not animalic at all. It's just very much a creamy, soft, gentle musk. And a very simple note structure of vanilla, musk, and amber. And the amber makes it warm and contributes to the cozy, fluffy factor. And bonus points for Bath & Body Works fragrances. All of their products are dermatologically tested and safe to use on your hair, which I love. Because if you want to spray your fragrance in your hair, so especially if you have long hair and you move around and your hair moves, and you can create a more of a scent bubble around you, and it's lovely. So it's safer to use this sort of a formulation on your hair than it is regular perfume, which is based with alcohol, which is very drying for your hair. So bonus points to our friends at Bath & Body Works. I think this will become a staple favorite of mine. Number 5 on my list of favorite musk fragrances is an I think it's an older one from Latafa. And I heard another creator talk about it and say that it was one of the fragrances that if they were stranded on a desert island and could only have one fragrance, this was the fragrance that they would bring. And so I thought, oh, okay, I've got to give this a try. This one is Musk Mood from Latafa. Again, a lovely, heavy glass bottle with a very weighty, significant cap. I read on Fragrantica that someone thought that this smelled like ivory dish soap. And it kind of does, but I'm not mad at it. It also reminds me of one of my favorite makeup pardon me. It also reminds me of one of my favorite makeup products, Coty's Airspun powder. And it very much has a powdery, soft musk scent. Some people might think it's mature, but because I can associate it also with the powder, which I believe first came on the market in the 1930s, it to me seems more vintage than mature. To me, this seems like a very light academia fragrance. This to me says poetry and libraries, although not the kind of libraries that I worked in, but you know, think of Oxford's Dreaming Spires, or Victory Red lipstick and Digging for Victory. Pond's Cold Cream. This is vintage in a good way. I find it very soft and very, very feminine, although yeah, I don't think I really could see a man wearing this unless they layered it with something a lot stronger and very woody, because it does have that sweet, powdery, feminine side to it. Top notes just are citruses and fruits. The heart notes are white musk, floral notes, and vanilla. The base notes are white musk and sandalwood, which gives it a richer, creamier base. I haven't worn it enough to judge its longevity and all of that, because when I bought it, I sprayed it out and then let it sit for a while, and it's been sitting, but it's coming along beautifully, and I will wear it now. It's a very clean musk scent, like it smells like soap. You could layer it to really create any sort of personalized scent that you want. But if you want to smell clean, soapy, and classic, I think this one would do you absolutely no harm. Although, be very careful about spraying it on your clothing, because I think it has a high concentration of oil in it. So when I spray it on my hand, I can really see the oil. So beware of that. Otherwise, this fragrance is one that is absolutely wonderful for this time of year or any time of year. It's cozy and fresh and oh so clean. This is your clean girl with Besame Victory Red lipstick musk. This next musk fragrance is actually the first musk fragrance that I ever experienced, ever smelled. It was in the 80s, and I had an older cousin, going back to the aunt who left the blueberry candle in her car. Her daughter wore this fragrance, and I used to go into her room when she wasn't home and spray it on or smell the bottle. I absolutely loved it, even from a very young age. And It's a fragrance that was first introduced in 1969. This fragrance was quite popular with the flower children of the day, and it was unashamedly sensual. And the packaging completely reflects that still. You can still buy this fragrance, and it is incredibly affordable. It is only about $21 on Amazon Canada and at Shoppers Drug Mart. You can get it as the perfume oil, which I have, and also a bubble bath, which is really nice. This one is Alyssa Ashley Musk. What I love about this fragrance is that, especially as an oil, it really, really reacts with your skin chemistry. And it lasts a really long time. I could use just a little dab of this, and it doesn't project really loudly, especially because if you use it sparingly, it creates a little bit of a scent bubble, but it's very much a skin scent. Some say the modern formulation doesn't last as long as the vintage ones. And my bottle is pretty old, and I've got a pretty good dent going on in it because I've used quite a bit of it. But I can get about 5 or 6 hours out of this. And for a musk, it's got a pretty complex note structure, and it's really well blended, and it creates this soft, powdery, clean, musky scent, which has got a hint of sweetness as well. So the top notes are bergamot, the middle notes are ylang ylang, jasmine, rose, and geranium, and the base notes are musk, tonka bean, iris, and oak moss. So it has the richness of the tonka bean and the powdery smoothness of the iris. So it's got quite a complex breakdown, but like I said, it's blended really well. And this is a classic. This has been around, like I said, since 1969. And if you're a musk lover, I think this is one that's worth a try, especially at this price point. Because even if you don't love it on its own, it's a really good base for layering. I will say that it's one that you can actually wear any time of the year. The warmer months actually might be preferable for it because it has the floral notes in it. It doesn't have a super high rating on Fragrantica. It's only rated 3.78, and some people are saying... Oh, well. Like I said, they're chaos. My cat pulled over my Nespresso coffee maker, and there was water all over the floor. Oh, I think I need to calm myself down, smell some musk fragrances, and center myself. Okay, so where was I? Alyssa Ashley only has a 3.78 rating on Fragrantica, and some people do say that it's very dated, which, admittedly it is. It's a 50-plus-year-old scent profile, but I prefer to say that it's a classic. It's one that you can use to create your own combinations through layering. You can absolutely wear it on its own. I love that. It is very much a gender neutral scent. And I think that is also evidenced by the bottle. Not only is it meant to evoke sexuality, I think the intertwined male and female symbols on the bottle also indicate that any gender can wear this. And combined with the wearer's unique skin chemistry will create their own scent. So I think it's a very versatile fragrance that actually honestly gets a bad rap. So I highly recommend it. So I hear that all the kids are into 90s things and Y2K things. And I have to laugh when I see some of these clothes in shops or online and think, huh, wow, I had that or something very similar 30 years ago. Completely showing my age there, but because we are bringing it back to the 90s, I'm going to share with you my signature scent from high school. It's a fragrance that has actually never been discontinued. The Body Shop has always carried it. They have recently brought back Dewberry, which was what my friend wore. So, yes, we are absolutely bringing back the 90s, which makes me feel young. I must say, makes me feel very young. So this fragrance is the one and only White Musk from the Body Shop. I have it in both the perfume oil and a travel size eau de toilette, which is very handy for keeping in your handbag and obviously for like traveling and stuff like that. Oh, this fragrance, this is the 90s in a bottle. It makes me want to put on ditzy florals and listen to Lisa Loeb. mm. Mm, mm, mm. This is rad. So this fragrance is actually, it was introduced in, it says on the bottle, 1981. So it's actually older than the 90s, but it came into my life in the 90s. And it is a soft, powdery, aldehydic musk with a complex note structure that just smells good. Nothing is screechy, nothing jumps out at you. It is generally feminine, but it would absolutely also work on a guy. It has top notes of musk, lily, ylang ylang, galbanum, and basil, which I guess gives it a I'm not sure. Basil definitely has a distinct smell, and I can't imagine that I ever would have thought that it was in here, but apparently it is. The middle notes are musk, lily, again, jasmine, and rose. And the base notes are musk, iris, jasmine, oak moss, amber, vanilla, rose, vetiver, patchouli, and peach. So you finish off with a little bit of a sweet kick, which that I've always gotten more sweet out of this fragrance. Musky and sweet and clean. Any age can wear this because and it's a very good base like for layering, for creating your own scent. It's still one of my favorites. I will always have this in my collection in some form or other, preferably the oil. I love it in the oil form because it's just so versatile and it's so easy to wear, and it's close and comforting, and it's just perfection in my mind for a musk fragrance. And it's really inexpensive. This bottle, 20 mils of the oil, is only $33 Canadian. So, yeah, highly recommend if you have a Body Shop near you and you are a musk person, this is one that you really need to have in your collection. Okay, so now this is the penultimate musk, the penultimate musk in my collection. And I have it in that position because I absolutely thought that it would stay in that position. That was until I was wearing these fragrances last night, testing them out while I was taking my notes, and put on the fragrance that is in the number one position and also on one arm, and put this one on my other arm. And I kept going back to this fragrance. I kept going back to this fragrance. And this fragrance also is powerful. I wouldn't necessarily say it's beast mode because I haven't worn it enough to really test that, but I know that I've sprayed it in my room and I've worn it at night. And when I walk in my room and all my fragrances are on shelves on the left-hand side of my room, and I'm not necessarily near them when I walk in, but this is the fragrance that I usually smell first when I walk in the room. And I don't know if that means that the bottle is leaking, which I don't think it is, or if it's just a powerful fragrance. So this beauty looks so unassuming. It looks so elegant in its clear bottle with its little twinkly crystals. I don't know if you can hear that. I love the addition of these little beady things in there. This is Pure Musk from Latafa. It was also called Calice Musk. I think that's how you pronounce it. So I think this bottle is beautiful. And it sort of sums up the fragrance in a bottle. It's ethereal, it's elegant, it's bright, it's crystalline, but not sharp crystalline. It's, it's clear. It is a clean, soapy smell. It's a bit sweet. Now, I don't have kids, never wanted them, that's a whole thing. But one thing I do appreciate, because I am human, is when you cuddle a baby and they're nice and clean and they're warm and they just have that smell. That's what this reminds me of. Is like a clean, cuddly baby. It also reminds me of soap. Like, it's just very, very clean. Sort of like Dove soap, the original Dove soap, which is my favorite soap. That's the soap I've been using as long as I can remember. So I'm guessing that performance actually might be not a problem with this one. I will definitely test this one. It is such a comforting scent. I absolutely adore it. I wouldn't say that it's a date night or an event scent. Like, I wouldn't wear this out to a fancy restaurant or a black tie event or anything. I might want to wear it to a black tie event to make me feel better, but no, this is comforting and cozy, like they all are. That's what I love about Musk, is that it gives you that hug feeling, that hit of dopamine that you get when you hug a loved one, when you nuzzle your pets, when you kiss the top of a baby's head, like that endorphin rush. That's what Musk gives me, and that's why I love it so much. And this fragrance is very gender neutral. It's like, you smell like soap. You smell incredible. You just smell clean. You smell fresh. You smell gentle. It's not highly rated on Fragrantica, and I I really can't see why, because like it's so nice. And all it has is one note, one accord. That's it. Just musk. That's pure musk. It's exactly what it says on the tin. And it's just so soft and so, it's just nice. Again, very much a clean girl, soft girl aesthetic, if that's what you're going for. This is another one that would also sort of put in the light academia category or aesthetic. It's obviously not as complex as Musk Mood because that has so many other notes going on, and this one only has the one. But this one, yeah, this might have dethroned my favorite musk. So then I'll move along and tell you what that one is. So this is another classic, another oldie but a goodie. It's another sexy fragrance from days of yore, because this fragrance was first launched in 1972. So it's another fragrance that is older than I am. Well, not this actual bottle, but you know, the fragrance itself. This is Jovan Musk for Women. They're gonna break the coffee makers. Hang on. Oh, I'm gonna need a coffee after all this. All right, so Jovan Musk for Women. I started wearing this when I was in my 20s because I couldn't remember the name of the fragrance that I used to stitch from my cousin when I was a kid. All I remembered was what the bottle looked like. So I was in Shoppers Drug Mart and was smelling fragrances. I knew it was a musk, but I couldn't remember what it was. And then I smelled this and I knew that I liked the white musk from the Body Shop. So when I found this, I knew I had to add it to my collection, and I have had a bottle ever since. I don't know how many bottles I've gone through, but I've got a bit of a dent in this one. So we are working on it. This is another very clean, very close, and very versatile musk. Again, that can be layered. It's just got a linear note breakdown. It's very straightforward. It's a musky floral with notes of musk, jasmine, neroli, and bergamot. On me, it gets smoother and sweeter as it warms up and as it dries down. And it is a fragrance that you could wear any time of year. You could wear it any time of day. I work in an environment that is technically a scent-free environment. But this is the fragrance that I would actually wear to work most of the time, because really only I would smell it, or if someone was like really close to me, they could maybe smell it. But yeah, it doesn't smell perfumey. It smells a bit like baby shampoo. So it's another clean, musk. It's another like your skin but better kind of scent. And when I would wear it to work, it would last all day. So you get your full 8 hours, and it obviously doesn't, you could really go ham on it and really get it to project, but you can also be very conscientious with it and sort of keep it to yourself. And it's a very calming, pleasant musk, which, you know, obviously most of these are, all of these are. I would rather smell like something cozy and comforting. And this is another one that is also really super affordable. It's around $20 in Shoppers Drug Mart in Canada, and it's less than that on Amazon Canada. So that one was my traditional favorite. But she might have actually taken the throne. But I do think there is a place for both of them. Like I said, if you want more projection, if you want more power, if you want a sort of a bright Dove soap kind of smell, this is your girl. If you want something a little more floral and something closer to the skin, stick with the classics, the Jovan Musk or the Alyssa Ashley Musk or the Body Shop White Musk. You can't go wrong with the classics. They are classics for a reason. Now, I know there are so many musk fragrances. It's one of the most common base notes or notes in perfumery. According to Perfumerism, whose channel I highly recommend if you are at all into perfumes. She is an absolute wealth of knowledge. So what are your favorite musks? Which ones would you recommend? I know there's one that I would love to try. It's called 1957 and it's actually a Chanel fragrance. And Kiehl's has a musk scent, which is apparently quite nice. There are so many, but if you have a favorite, leave me a comment. Tell me which ones that you would recommend for me or which ones you think I should try next. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye. Oh, one more thing. An honorable musk mention that isn't a fragrance for your body. It's this candle. Salt and Stone Strawberry Musk. This is so delicious. Oh my days. I haven't had it that long and I've burned through quite a bit of it. So if you have a Home Sense or a Home Goods, Winners, Marshalls, whatever, TJ Maxx, TK Maxx, whatever they're called in your area, and they sell salt and sand and fog, sorry, not Salt and Stone. That's something completely different. It is the Sand and Fog Strawberry Musk. Yeah, if you have one of those stores near you and they sell the candles, highly recommend you look for this one. I don't see it available on their website anymore, so I'm thinking it might be like a seasonal one that is now finished, which is why they're in the Home Goods stores or the Home Sense stores. But yeah, keep your eyes open for this one. It is delicious and it's so pretty. Like, look at the ditzy floral lid. Like, this is so spring. This is so spring. This is Strawberries and Cream at Wimbledon, which actually isn't spring that summer, but yeah, highly recommend. Keep your eye out for this one.